The hospice nurse called me at 6:18 a.m. Your father passed peacefully at las 6:02 altoim. I'm so sorry for your loss. I was still processing those words when my phone rang again. 6:23 a.m. Unknown number. Señora Ann Richardson, this is Linda Chavez. I'm a notary public. I need to speak with you urgently about a will I was asked to witness last night. My father had been dead for 21 minutes. What will? I asked. The one your stepmother brought to the hospice facility at 2 a.m. The one she said your father signed at 1:47 a.m. Ms. Richardson. I need you to know I refused to notarize it. My stepmother had tried to change my father's will for hours before he died. While he was on morphine, while he was unconscious. She had no idea the notary had already called me first. I didn't scream. I didn't confront her at the hospital. I thanked the nurse for her care, and I drove home in silence. They thought I'd be too grief-stricken to notice, too emotional to ask questions, too devastated to check the paperwork. They were about to learn I'm an estate planning paralegal. I've processed over 400 wills in my career. I know exactly what a valid will looks like and what fraud looks like. My name is Claire Richardson. I'm 38 years old. I work at a trusts and estates law firm in Portland, Oregon. For 12 years, I've helped families protect their legacies. I never thought I'd have to protect my own. Hit subscribe right now. Drop your city in the comments. If you've ever watched someone try to steal from a dying relative, this story is for you. Because the calm verdict was already written in my father's real will, signed 3 years earlier. My father, Robert Richardson, was a retired high school principal. He taught history for 30 years, then served as principal for another 12. He was careful, methodical, thorough. He taught me to read the fine print. My mother died in 2016 from ovarian cancer. My father grieved for 2 years. I didn't push him to date. I just wanted him to be okay. In 2018, he met Denise Crawford at a community center volunteer event. She was 52 to his 6, energetic, friendly, attentive. They dated for 6 months. She moved in after 8. They married in April 2019. I was cautious but supportive. My father seemed happy. Denise was pleasant enough at Sunday dinners. A little too interested in his finances, I thought, but I told myself I was being overprotective. June 2019. My father updated his will. He called me into his study. He'd always kept a home office, meticulously organized. Claire, I want you to know what's in this will. I'm leaving the house to you. My retirement accounts are split. 60% to you, 40% to Denise. She'll be financially comfortable. But you're my daughter. You're my priority. He showed me the will. I read every page. It was fair, clear, legally sound, drafted by Mitchell Brennan, an estate attorney he'd known for 20 years. Properly witnessed, properly notarized. Why are you showing me this, Dad? Because I want you to have a copy, just in case. Just in case. Those words haunted me later. I took a copy home, filed it in my own documents. I'm a paralegal. I keep everything. October 2021. My father was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. The prognosis was 12 to 18 months. Denise became his primary caregiver. At first, I appreciated it. She drove him to appointments, managed his medications, kept detailed notes, but slowly, I started noticing changes. November 2021. I called to visit. Denise answered my father's phone. He's resting, Claire. The chemo makes him so tired. Maybe next week? I tried again 3 days later. Some response. December 2021. I showed up unannounced. Denise met me at the door. This isn't a good time. He's having a bad day, too much pain. I'm his daughter. I want to see him. And I'm his wife. I know what he needs right now. She closed the door. I called my father's cell. It went straight to voicemail. I called 6 times over the next week. No answer. No callback. I drove by the house on a Thursday afternoon, saw my father in the window. He saw me, started to wave. Then Denise appeared, closed the curtain. January 2022. I filed a wellness check request with Adult Protective Services. They visited the house. Mr. Richardson appears to be receiving appropriate care, the caseworker told me. His wife is attentive. The home is clean. He stated he's not ready for visitors because he doesn't want people to see him this way. Did he say that? Or did she? He confirmed it himself. But I knew my father, he'd never shut me out. Not like this. Not like this. February 2022. My father's oncologist called me directly. Claire, I'm concerned. Denise has asked me to increase your father's morphine significantly. His pain levels don't justify the dosage she's requesting. What did you tell her? I refused. But she found another doctor who approved it. Your father is now on a level of pain medication that's concerning. He's sedated most of the time. March 2022. I contacted Mitchell Brennan, my father's estate attorney. Mitchell, when did you last speak to my father? Not since we drafted the will in 2019. Why? Has Denise contacted you about updating it? No. But Claire, if she did, I'd need your father's explicit consent and mental capacity confirmation. Is something wrong? I think she's isolating him. Overseeding him. I think she's planning something. Mitchell was quiet. Then, do you have a copy of the 2019 will? Yes. Keep it safe. And document everything. I did. I started keeping a log. March 15th, 2022. Called Dad's cell. No answer. Left voicemail. March 17th, 2022. Drove by house. Curtains closed. Denise's car and driveway. March 22nd, 2022. Received text from Dad's phone. Needs space. Will call when ready. Typing style didn't match his. March 28, 2022. Contacted hospice intake coordinator. Told Denise had inquired about services. April 2nd, 2022. My father was admitted to Willamette Valley Hospice. End-stage cancer. Weeks. Maybe days. I called the facility directly. I'm Robert Richardson's daughter. I want to visit, of course. Visiting hours are 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Family is always welcome. April 3, 2022, 10 a.m. I arrived at the hospice. Denise was in his room. She stood when she saw me. Claire, this isn't a good time. I'm visiting my father. I walked past her. My father was in the bed. Eyes closed, breathing shallow, morphine drip running. I took his hand. Dad, it's Claire. His eyes opened slightly. He tried to speak. Nothing came out. I'm here, Dad. I love you. Denise's voice was cold. He's not lucid. The morphine. He won't remember this. I stayed for 30 minutes. Denise hovered the entire time. When I left, I spoke to the charge nurse. Please note in his chart. I'm his daughter, Claire Richardson. I want to be notified of any changes in his condition. Any decisions about his care should include me. The nurse made the note. Of course, you're listed as next of kin. Denise's face tightened. Actually, I'm his wife. I'm the healthcare proxy. The nurse checked the file. You're both listed. We'll notify both of you. The night, everything changed. 7:30 to 10 o'clock, April 4th, 2022, 11:47 p.m. The hospice called. Senora Richardson, your father's condition has declined significantly. You may want to come soon. I drove to the facility. Arrived at 12:23 a.m. Denise was already there, alone with my father. He's sleeping, she said. I'll stay with him tonight. You should go home and rest. I'm staying. We sat on opposite sides of the room. My father's breathing was labored. The death rattle had started. 1:30 a.m. A woman arrived, mid-50s professional attire, carrying a leather portfolio. She glanced at me, then approached Denise. Denise stood, walked her into the hallway. They spoke in low voices. Through the door window, I saw Denise hand her papers. The woman examined them, shook her head, pointed at something on the page. Denise's face went red. They argued. The woman handed the papers back, turned, and left. Denise came back into the room. Didn't look at me. Sat down. I didn't say anything, but I pulled out my phone, took a photo of the woman walking down the hallway. Screenshot of the time. 1:52 a.m. At 6:02 a.m. My father took his last breath. The nurse came in, checked his vitals. I'm so sorry. Ese? Gone. Denise sobbed. Loud, dramatic. I sat silently, holding my father's hand. At 6:23 a.m., my phone rang. Unknown number. I stepped into the hallway. Señora Richardson, this is Linda Chavez. I'm a notary public. Linda Chavez spoke quickly, carefully. I was called to Willamette Valley Hospice at 1:45 a.m. this morning to witness and notarize a will. The woman who called me, Denise Richardson, said her husband wanted to make final changes. What kind of changes? She had a handwritten document. It stated that Robert Richardson was revoking his previous will and leaving his entire estate to his wife, Denise Crawford Richardson. My stomach dropped. When I arrived, Mr. Richardson was unconscious, unresponsive. I asked Mrs. Richardson when he'd signed this document. She said 20 minutes earlier, at 1:47 a.m., she said he'd had a moment of lucidity. But he was unconscious when you arrived, completely. Ms. Richardson, I've been a notary for 19 years. I refuse to notarize that document. The testator must be present, conscious, and of sound mind. Your father was none of those things. What did Denise say? She became very angry. She told me I was jeopardizing a dying man's final wishes. I told her those weren't his wishes, that was fraud. I left. And then I called you. How did you get my number? The hospice nurse. She saw the confrontation. She pulled me aside, told me there was a daughter who'd been trying to visit. She gave me your contact information from the family notification list. Did Denise see you call me? No. I called from my car. Miss Chavez, would you be willing to provide a sworn statement about what happened? Absolutely. In fact, I've already documented it. Time-stamped notes. Photos of the document she tried to get me to notarize. I kept everything. April 4th, 2022, 9 a.m. I met with Mitchell Brennan. I brought the 2019 will, my documentation log, Linda Chavez's contact information, photos from the hospice. Mitchell reviewed everything. Claire, this is attempted testamentary fraud. If Denise tries to probate that handwritten will, we'll challenge it, and we'll win. What if she doesn't probate it? What if she just takes control of everything? Then we file first. We probate the 2019, will immediately establish its validity before she can make a move. We filed that afternoon, April 6th, 2022. My father's funeral. Denise sat in the front row, sobbing. I sat to Rose back, calm and quiet. After the service, she approached me. Claire, we need to discuss your father's estate. He made some changes before he died. We should meet with a lawyer together. Work this out as family. I've already met with Mitchell Brennan. The 2019 will has been filed for probate. Her face went still. What? The will Dad signed 3 years ago. The valid one, it's been filed? But he changed his mind. The night he died, he was unconscious. The notary refused to witness it. Did you think I wouldn't find out? April 12, 2022. Denise filed a competing will for probate. The handwritten document from the hospice. No notary signature. Just her signature as a witness. Mitchell filed a motion to contest. April 28, 2022. Court hearing. Linda Chavez testified. Time-stamped documentation. Photos. Detailed account of Denise's attempt to force her to notarize a will for an unconscious man at 2 a.m. The hospice nurse testified. My father's morphine dosage. His level of consciousness, medical records showing he hadn't been lucid for over 18 hours before his death. I testified. The isolation. The blocked visits. Timeline. Denise's attorney argued she had the right to inherit as a spouse. Mitchell's response. She does. The 2019 will gives her 40% of retirement accounts and personal property. But she wanted 100%, so she fabricated a will in the middle of the night while her husband was dying. May 15, 2022. The judge's ruling, the handwritten will, invalid. Executed without proper witnessing, without testator capacity, clear evidence of undue influence and fraud. The 2019 will. valid, properly executed, clear evidence of testamentary intent. It is the finding of this court that Denise Richardson attempted to defraud the estate through fabrication of a testamentary document. The court validates the 2019 will as the true last will and testament of Robert Richardson. Denise received exactly what my father intended, 40% of his retirement accounts, approximately $140,000. I received the house, the remaining 60% of retirement accounts, and his personal property, total, approximately $380,000. But more than that, I protected my father's wishes. The man who taught me to read the fine print would have been proud. June 2022. Denise moved out of my father's house, our house, my house. She didn't speak to me at the final walkthrough. I didn't need her to. The calm verdict had been delivered. Not by me, by the evidence. By the notary who refused to commit fraud, by the legal system that worked exactly as it should. If you've made it this far, drop a comment. Tell me your city. Tell me if you've ever had to fight for what someone you loved intended to leave you. Estate fraud happens in the final hours. When people are grieving, when they're vulnerable, when they think no one is paying attention, but some of us were raised to read the fine print. To keep copies, to trust but verify. My name is Claire Richardson. I'm 38 years old. I'm an estate planning paralegal. And I'm here to tell you, they thought grief would blind me. They thought emotion would overwhelm evidence. They were wrong. Keep copies of important documents. Trust the professionals who refuse to break the law. And never underestimate someone who works in estate law for a living. The verdict is always calm. The justice is always real. My father taught me that.